This metal all has the genesis of the Guadalcanal Marines. Not too long after they get ashore, they wake up one morning and realize that the Navy ships have pulled out and left them to fight by themselves. What had happened was a number of these Navy ships that were protecting their supply ships had failed to recognize a large counterattack force from the Japanese that was sailing down from their main base in Rabaul. Most of their food was still half left on those ships, their ammunition was running low, and they also didn't have a lot of the other supplies that they would need to maintain their fight at Guadalcanal. But nevertheless, they did. They took the objective they wanted, which was an airfield that they renamed Henderson Airfield, and they quickly brought in aircraft. And they defended that island against several major Japanese counterattacks on the island. After they're finally relieved by the Army, they're back in Australia. And the adjutant for the 5th Marine seems to be somewhat of an artist. And he has a discussion with the operations officer, and they ask this particular adjutant if he would do a sketch of a medal that they'd like drawn. And after it was approved, he brought it out in town to a local jeweler, and they made a mold of this medal. On the front of the medal is a slogan down on the bottom in Latin, and it says, "Let George do it." And there's a large arm dropping a potato to a tiny Marine who's on an island with a cactus on it. You see, Cactus Island was the code name for Guadalcanal. And that very large arm was a little slam at the Navy for dropping the battle in their lap to let the Marines fight that hot potato battle all by themselves. When you reverse the medal, the backside has a fan that's blowing hot air across the backside of a cow with its tail up. And it's in reference to the you-know-what hitting the fan once the Navy had to pull out. And it says in fond remembrance of the time that they spent on the island. Legend has it that the cloth part of the medal was made out of the uniforms that they wore at Guadalcanal. And that particular cloth part of the medal had to be dipped or immersed in the Tenarú River, which was very close to their position at Guadalcanal. They would wear these medals, which by the way, there are only about 50 that were made before the mold broke. They would wear that medal out in town on liberty and pretty much dare anyone to tell them to take it off, because even though it was unofficial, by God, they sure felt like they earned it.